The Outer Kai, being released from a Z-Sword that was placed on Earth, has nearly solved everything. The Saiyan Saga was a simple task, but more importantly, the Namek Saga was completely evaded. But there's always one thing that never changes: the madness of Dr. Gero. In his free time, he's worked on a monster like no other, Cell, who after the ending of last part was revealed to already came about terrorizing Gingertown and even attaining his goal of being perfect. A Cell not only with the genes of Goku, but a Cell with the DNA of a Kaioshin. Getting into the story, we left off with Goku finding out about Cell, and quickly he found his way over to Kami's lookout with the rest of the Z Fighters, to which Kami quickly tells him that the threat is getting closer and closer. Similar to canon, Goku makes the conclusion that they need to enter the time chamber, and fast. As they enter the time chamber, we cut to Cell entering the mind of Kami. He asks where the others that were just with him have gone. Kami gives a slight smile. He then tells Cell to not worry about that right now, and he goes on to say that they're off training. Cell begins to laugh, saying he's glad even Goku knows he's heavily outmatched. Kami smiles a bit, then he begins to say, not only in his head, but out loud as well. He says they're not only training for him, they're training for everyone on Earth. Cell begins to speak, but Kami interrupts him. He then goes on to ask for 3 days. Just 3 days, and they'll give Cell a challenge like no other. Cell's bloodlust only thickens in the atmosphere for a moment, and then a calm presence suddenly comes over the Earth. Cell begins to smile, and then he says he'll suppose he'll entertain Kami for now, but then he also warns him, if in those 3 days no one shows up, he will not hesitate to destroy Earth's entire population. Cell leaves the mind of Kami, and Kami, after giving a short smile, begins to feel weak, before eventually fainting and being given the care of Mr. Popo. While this is going on inside the time chamber, Goku arrives to the same conclusion as he did in canon. They need to work on making their ultimate form their base form. Vegeta agrees, saying much of the same. Piccolo begins to say he should be the one to train Gohan, but Goku has another plan. He reaches into his pants, pulling out a capsule before finally throwing it onto the ground. And then, just like that, a set of clothes appear, and Goku walks away with them, changing into them, and coming back, he reveals himself in a set of Kaioshin clothes. He makes it known before they continue anywhere, Gohan and Piccolo are both gonna get stronger before they do anything else. Goku tells Gohan to come next to him for a bit. Goku breathes and starts stretching before finally starting a dance around Gohan. Vegeta says out loud that he can't possibly think this will actually work. Goku says they won't know until they try, and besides, they have more than enough time. Vegeta sighs and tells Piccolo they should spar for a bit. This is gonna take a while. Now I will say, I don't think it's too far-fetched to assume that the Outer Kai Unlock technique can be taught, especially with them training with the Kaioshin for years now. I don't think it'd be very hard to eventually pick it up, but let's say it really is only a move that could be done by a Kaioshin. From a writing perspective, I could easily say with Goku and Vegeta training with the Kaioshin for years now, they could both easily be considered Kaioshin in training, and I wouldn't doubt that's actually the case here. So, getting back to the story, after a bit of time, Gohan gets his potential unleashed, Piccolo as well, and we leave off with the four training in the time chamber, with everyone having the ultimate form. Goku and Vegeta, they also get curious and start experimenting with Super Saiyan as well, Goku telling Vegeta that it could come in handy later on. 3 years goes by relatively quickly, and before Kami knows it, they're out of the time chamber. Cell immediately enters their minds, the atmosphere of the Earth changing drastically once again. He lets it be known that he's given them ample time to train, and they need to get over here now. Goku laughs and says alright before using the Kai Kai ability and teleporting everyone to Cell's arena, the atmosphere finally calming down with the group's arrival. Goku laughs for a bit before truly sensing Cell's power, and once again he notices the Elder Kai's presence within him. He takes a breath and steps into the arena with Cell. Cell laughs for a bit, mocking his clothes, saying they're oddly unique. Goku laughs, agreeing before saying they're his good luck charm, saying that his master gave them to him many years ago. But he never got to wear them until now. Cell says to stop boring him and to get the fight started. The fight begins, but not long into the fight, like in canon, Goku gives it up to Gohan. Goku seemingly being a bit overconfident. Goku takes this opportunity to see what Gohan's training has actually done for him. And not long into the fight, Gohan is actually showing to be quite the force, until he lands a good blow on Cell, and Cell angrily charges up. Only thing is, Cell himself had no idea what he had just done. The presence that Goku had felt earlier that vaguely reminded him of the Elder Kai exploded, and the aura was almost nearly gone. Cell had acquired the ultimate form by accident. Cell laughs and says even he had no idea he could do such a thing. Cell and Gohan's fight continues before Gohan activates his ultimate form as well, and I'm saddened to say, but Cell's power would be simply too much for the Gohan in his ultimate form. Goku on the sidelines, for the first time in years, is feeling true fear. Getting the power he had acquired so early on had stagnated his growth, and Cell was only a humbling experience. Cell in this battle with Goku on the sidelines would eventually go on to kill Gohan. It should be obvious, but I'll explain. Regardless, a Cell with the maximum potential unlocked from all his genes with an ultimate form could be stronger than almost anybody we've seen so far. The genes of Frieza, the genes of the Saiyans, the genes of Piccolo, and it just goes on. It's just too much power. It would overwhelm anyone, even Goku. Goku, with the death of his son, breathes in and breathes out. A scene reminiscent to the one on Namek wouldn't play out this time. After believing he had seen the death of the Elder Kai almost 4 years ago now, for him he knew he couldn't let his anger take over. That would only further worsen the situation. Goku reaches into his pocket once more, pulling out the Potara earring and silently handing the other one to Vegeta. Vegeta immediately began to say out loud that Goku knows they can never turn back, but Goku said nothing and simply looked at Vegeta with a face lacking empathy. Vegeta, without saying another word and understanding the consequences of the Potara, puts it on, and Vegito is born. Quickly going into his ultimate form, Vegito began the destruction of Cell. Goku's raw emotion showed in Vegito more than anything. Cell was destroyed, but things still weren't fixed. The Potara would eventually defuse, but although Gohan would be resurrected, this left Goku with the same emotions. Goku put all of his trust and confidence into Gohan, and it was a mistake that got Gohan killed, and if it weren't for the Potara, everyone else would have been killed. Goku made a pact with himself, saying that he'd never do such a thing again. He would be the one to do all the battles. Not Vegeta, not Gohan, only him. An extremely selfish, but a plausible action from the Goku in this series. But if he were to ever fail, Earth would still need its heroes. Goku tells Gohan that he strayed away from his training for far too long, and that he's gonna train with the people he's been with for all this time. Goku takes Gohan to the Kao Shin and lets them do their work. Of course, he would still be in between Earth during his spare time, but a majority of Gohan's time would be spent with the Kao Shin, and not long into his stay, the Kao Shin praise him as a prodigy, saying he's sure to surpass even his father one day. But going into the time skip, we're met with a Goku, like usual, in training in the Kao Shin realm, with a much older Gohan. During their training, Kibito Kai tells Goku to come over, and Goku listens. The Supreme Kai tells him of a threat that sometime soon should be arriving to Earth. Goku understands, and the Supreme Kai tells him that originally they had planned to go themselves, but to consider this their first real mission, as now almost official Kaioshin. He's saying this to both Goku and Gohan, but where's Vegeta? Vegeta is actually already on Earth, watching over Goten and Trunks as they participate in the 25th Tenkaichi Budokai as a favor for Goku. The two boys were completely different people than their fathers, wanting to learn to fight, so competing in the Tenkaichi Budokai would be a great venue to show their skill and just how far they've come from the training of their fathers. Things go like usual with Goten and Trunks ending up fighting, But there's one key difference. Spopovich and Yamu have been turned into Majins far earlier, mostly because the power of Goten and Trunks just being overwhelming. It's almost like they need to extract this power now, but their goal changes immediately when as soon as they enter the ring, Goten and Trunks let off loads of energy, far more for Spopovich or Yamu to handle. Goten and Trunks notice the two, and then begin to look in the direction, to which the two flee all the way back to Babidi's ship, quickly. With this, Goku arrives to Earth, after being told about the threat, which we know is Babidi, and he shows up right on time to see Vegeta going towards Babidi's ship. Goku goes there with him, and asks Vegeta what he's doing. He should be looking after Goten and Trunks, and Vegeta explains what happened to both Goku and Gohan. They fly the rest of the way, and as soon as they notice Babidi, they prepare themselves to easily eliminate the threat that is the Buu Saga. And with one blast, Goku solves it instantly, not even giving someone like the Bura enough time to spit on someone. This ending the Buu Saga far faster than in canon. Going into another time skip, Goku eventually would get a job as a farmer, thus slowing down his training with the Cow Shin, but he still tries to keep it up, and Gohan doing much of the same, and also getting married to Videl. The Cow Shin have taught Goku and Vegeta almost everything they know, and the Earth is completely at peace. But coming up is Bulma's birthday party, and for now, that's going to be a bit of a priority for everyone. But what's also relevant about this day is that it's the day that the God of Destruction Lord Beerus has woken up and begun his search for the Super Saiyan God, and it's not long after looking into this search that they immediately begin their travel towards the Cow Shin realm. This due to the fact that there seems to be a Saiyans there, which is more than rare for the Cow Shin realm. Beerus arrives and immediately greets Elder Kai, asking how he actually got out of the Z-Sword, but then he notices Goku training, and Beerus goes over to greet him, and Goku is surprised by Beerus' presence. This Goku, having studied under the Cow Shin, is actually paying his respects to the god, but Beerus lets it be known that that's not what he's worried about. He asks about the Super Saiyan God, and he only gets confusion from Goku. Eventually, this leads up to Goku and Beerus dueling, which Goku tries something new. It's more than fair to say, our Z-Fighters have mastered the ultimate form at this point, so Goku tries, at the same time, to tap into the rage from Super Saiyan and the ultimate form, and he reveals an ultimate Super Saiyan transformation. I will say this is a bit of a contradiction, as I know in the past I have said I don't believe it's possible, but this is more so to show something cool, and the result of Goku's training. And with the way the story was heading, it would really only be the ultimate form for the rest of the series, and that would be a bit boring. But getting back to the story, even with all this power, Beerus is still far too much, but he is a good warm-up for now. Beerus knocks Goku out and tells Whis to head to the next best place. Whis looks into his staff and says aloud that it seems almost all the Saiyans in the universe are exactly in one area currently. Beerus says that's great, and the two begin to head off back to Earth. Goku eventually wakes up, and the Cow Shin catch him up to speed with what's happening with Beerus, who's already at Bulma's party, and Goku begins to ask what are they gonna do. The Super Saiyan God wasn't only a myth, but it was a myth that he'd actually never heard of. The Elder Kai begins to laugh, and he tells Goku he's forgotten all the tricks that they've taught him, and he brings forth the crystal ball. Goku thanks the Elder Kai, and after switching back into his Cow Shin clothes for the first time in years, he begins to focus all of his energy on the crystal ball. Back on Earth, Vegeta is staying composed, trying to make sure everyone stays on their best behavior for Beerus. Beerus brings up the Super Saiyan God to Gohan and Vegeta to no evidence. It's at this point Beerus begins to feel fed up and threatens that if he doesn't beat the Super Saiyan God, he's gonna have to destroy the entire Earth. It's here where Goku finally shows up with the crystal ball in his hand, and he tells everyone the truth about the Super Saiyan God, and the ritual is immediately started after Videl reveals she's pregnant with Gohan's child. It's here where the Battle of Gods movie begins to fall back into the timeline perfectly, and Goku and Beerus battle once and for all, with our heroes discovering God Ki, and peace finally returns back to Earth, for good, with Beerus even allowing some of our heroes to train with him. But Gohan still has plenty to learn, alongside Goten and Trunks inside the Cow Shin realm. And with that, Goku and Vegeta would train alongside each other on Beerus' planet. Peace had been found, but as always, it was lost once again. once the Emperor made his presence on Earth known to everybody. But that is a story for another time. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I truly hope you loved it. If you liked that video, make sure to stand by and subscribe for our next What If. And if you've been looking for a What If in a separate continuity, I'm excited to finally announce that the series I am finally branching out to is Demon Slayer. If you have any ideas for that or for Dragon Ball What Ifs, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.